Come on, buddy pal.
Is there anything within the artist that makes them special? Are they truly rare, with significant mind and thought, of which the world require? Maybe the only thing unique within the artist is the belief that they are or do possess some innate quality. Perhaps it is that which beckons them to do more than settle. Maybe the only thing that sets the artist apart is this determination, the desire to pursue the otherwise useless efforts of self-expression. Or are they great, destined from birth to think alternatively and reveal to the world otherly perspectives surely missed by all average? It's here that the artists wrestle. What do we believe we possess? It's very easy to begin a career in art. We are imaginative. Are we all not kids to start, before the artist is wished away? Following your passion to pursue something that feels like you're changing the world, like you're leaving your mark, can come so naturally. Plus, you have great ideas. Slowly but surely, those who enjoyed the thought more than the work begin to fade into more immediately gratifying pursuits. Meanwhile, you continue to tell yourself that you are predestined for more than a 9-to-5. It can be very easy to run away with the fantasy of prestige in your younger years. But how long do you keep this charade up? How long do you continue to play within your imagination before growing up and moving on? Once shifted into a more professional mindset, creativity becomes a business. Now, it's one thing if you're some billboard-topping artist. Yeah, it's working. They're listening. Just keep it up. But if you're not coming from some legacy background, and you're just hoping that your work and merit will see you beyond your bedroom, you have to be convinced that you yourself have something to offer the world that does not already exist. You have to decide that what you wish to create is worth the world seeing, and that when they do see it, hear it, or otherwise consume, that they agree with you. What a commitment. To tell yourself that you have something the others don't, and then to dedicate yourself to its fruition. Driving further on into the world of art for money, you learn of the greats. You start to meet your peers. And like any staircase to whatever goals in life you wish to achieve, they get bigger, the steps. The people around you begin to be equally as determined as you are, equally creative, and equally visionary, some even more so. Many may have more resources and connections, and the other work you see makes you question how anyone could think so outside the box. Hopefully there's someone who feels that way about your work. Still pushing, still training, unlike the athlete, there are no circuits, there are no stats, no leagues, divisions, or conferences. There are no rookie cards. You're either someone or you're not. If skill was the only determining factor, this would be a sport, would it not? With some Hall of Fame and billboard of stats? But it's not. Art is subjective. There is no use in comparison outside of simple analysis. The mark of a great artist is not diminished when set alongside other great achievers. They simply achieve in proximity. So all that must be done is hold out, right? Continue to create until the world sees. It's not a turtle race either. Many greats have gone without recognition. We'd have to be ignorant to believe that there weren't prolific thinkers and artists stuck in blacksmith jobs, never born to a noble family. So then, what traits create the artist? What do we believe we possess? I'm certain I will lose a few viewers here, and that's okay. The minds I wish to speak to will understand that it's okay to not have an answer, because for this question, I don't. We all don't, and I think that's incredibly important, because we're all out here pursuing this thing, hoping that something about us, something about our approach, will be desired, admired, and appreciated. We all wish to leave some mark on this world, telling ourselves that our thinking out loud and allowing the world to watch as we wander through our determinations is of use, that they might find our answers with us and learn too what it is we find for the world. As Galileo did the stars, we wade into the mind and into the heart, the artist. I often find myself questioning whether I'm just lying to myself, or if I do have great ideas worth sharing with the world. I mean, I'm here on YouTube, trying my best to spark in you the same wonder that fuels me. I hope that in asking questions, we all think a bit deeper about the topics that I often find myself alone in their discovery. I have to remind myself some days that what I wish to make is something that does not exist where I wish it to. YouTube videos that make us think deeper and are calming and relaxing in a sea of what's up guys. I'm being honest and true to myself and speaking on my experiences, just like the greats who came before me. But am I actually thinking uniquely? What's so different about all this? I often sort artists into two distinct categories. There are the ones who tell us about themselves and hope that we find ourselves in them, the Mac Millers, the Tyler the Creators. And then there are the ones who teach us to think differently. Rather than about themselves, they ask about the world. Banksy, Pink Floyd. Now, regardless of their grouping, all of these artists bring value in expressing their subjective experiences, both unfiltered and vulnerable. The mark of these greats is their willingness to express and ask, and we, the artists, step willingly into the mind of our thinker. They teach us, and we feel understood. And then there's you and I, wishing to be equally as universally loved. Do we have what it takes to be honest and ingenious? Maybe it's telling about my own personal narcissistic tendencies to believe that I, some small town kid, actually has anything of value to offer the world. It's horrendous, isn't it, that we have to believe in ourselves despite our possible arrogance, to push past adultish fears of stupidity, vanity, and immaturity. But then again, what if we aren't as good as we think we are, stuck Dunning and Kruger's circles? What if our parents should have told us we were special 1 or 2 less times than they did? Always preaching to pursue your dreams and find your happiness without ever having explained what steps 1, 2, or 3 should even look like. It just feels like at some point you have to accept your averages, right? And move on. What if Kanye wasn't a good producer? Would he still believe in himself to the extent that he does? And what would that mean for us? Does art really require uniqueness? How many songs can be written about love? How many uncool guys will get the girl, leaving the jock defeated in the background before we stop filing into the theater? Maybe it's not in the idea or the message. Maybe it's in the execution. So we write another script, cutting back and forth between photography and ideas, hoping that if they aren't entertained philosophically, that at least the visual appeal will hold them long enough. That's different, right? Slow pacing, foregoing the cinematic B-roll instead, opting for truly cinematic A-roll. But what if different doesn't serve the algorithm? What then will be the mark of the great artist? Maybe it's in the constant questioning and analysis. Surely it's gotta be the strive. Undoubtedly, the simplest lie we can tell ourselves to help fight the urge to clock in is that while others walk mindlessly through the aisles of life, we, the artist, pick the book up off the shelf, and only in reading some 100,000 will we finally begin to understand the larger picture. That the magnum opus is in the continuation of our exploration. Certainly, you can't look forever and only find nothing. We have statistics and the eventual mastery to believe in. Unless Sisyphus believed he'd retire one day. There's just no way of telling, is there? How do we, the artist, believe in ourselves? What do we believe we possess? I'm not certain of any exact answer, but I hope that these suggestions help you understand the nuance. Each of these solutions has some double-edged sword or dead end that preys on our inability to see ourselves objectively. Of course, we always have feedback to rely on, but I want to be a Henry David Thoreau, not a Taylor Swift. So feedback can't be my only barometer. Now, for sake of giving this video some sort of resolution, allow me to call to mind the idea of Martin Luther King Jr. It's clear that regardless of how we define the winning characteristics of an artist, that there is no denying the power in the belief in the pursuit. A clear common thread between all those who've come before is this: their belief in their work and in their ideas. And might I suggest that it's this blood-red conviction clouding your objectivity and fueling your ego, forcing you to do whatever it is that you wish to do. It's this that defines the artist. And the greats are the ones who knew what to do with this conviction and how. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new to Mediam, this is a personal channel that's designed to be both relaxing and thought-provoking. Now, this video series is called Shutter Therapy and is kind of designed to work through the inner monologue, some of the anxieties, fears, hopes, and dreams that every artist has. It doesn't have to be photography. It could be music or painting. It's really anything creative. If you are interested in things more related to photography, I do have a video series called Principle of Photography that I'll link right here. And these videos are more in depth about film photography and other photography related things. Now, I have some show notes of some things that I want to, some honorable mentions. First, I wanted to talk about, Warhol, Pollock, and performative arts. Now, earlier in the video I mentioned that kind of two different places for art. People will talk about themselves and people will talk about the world. And of course, none of that includes abstract painting like Jackson Pollock, or pop art like Andy Warhol, or performative arts like dance. Although some can be storytelling themed, I think that these artists are definitely skill-based. A lot of these arts are purely for the sake of experiencing it. Say something like a play or a ballet, that's a lot about the execution and kind of what they are putting on display, as opposed to art that's designed to be consumed intellectually. Things that are designed to be thought about and connected with, as opposed to just seen like dance or pop art. Typically, those greats are decided by gallery elitists and art promoters rather than by the general public, which I think the art that I'm talking about is more in line with general public opinion. Also, quick disclaimer, when I came out here the other day with my dog to shoot the photos, I had some issues with my Rollicon, the Rollicord 3. The attachment that allows me to shoot 35mm in that was having some spacing issues and some film take-up issues, so I ended up losing the first 8 frames that I shot just because I had to pull the film out and reload it and all that stuff. I didn't have a changing bag with me. So give me grace. I had some technical issues, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And hopefully the days are gonna start getting longer now. The hardest part about filming videos in the winter is you have just enough time to get your shots from sunrise to sunset. I've got about 4.5 hours of daylight today, and it's -10 and I'm hiking. Pretty grueling shooting in the winters, but it is worth it. I mean, look at this place. Although it's pretty dark now, I'm sure you can't see me too well, but anyways, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Later.